so good.
Yeah.
All right, our focus is to get your body going. It doesn't mean that we don't need to do anything else. I might not talk about it, but see, I got into that little bit with the first group because they started doing everything that I was talking about with the upper body, but completely forgot about feet and everything. So let's warm up your feet first. And the positions I care about here is either flat, with your ribcage being projected forward, but not forward and up diagonally like in smooth. It is just forward. It's like flat. But the back of your head and spine is still going backwards. So this is just not the stretched conservative position. It is a little bit related. Your ribcage needs to be pulled away from your hips. So make sure you don't have this position. Pull it up and pull it over your toes. Bring up your hips. Spine is flat. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna bend knees by pushing them forward, and your heels will go up. You engage your core, but again, stillness is right above, like right here. And you are getting position of the ball of your foot, right? But not because you're popping them, because you're moving your knees forward. That gets your heels up. 1, 2. Now, instep should be as close as possible to position perpendicular to the floor into your toes. Your toes are not curved like this, they're flat, spread out. That's another mistake and another common thing that our toes are getting like really crunched up, but we need to make sure they relax actually and flat on the floor. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep on working. Now we have that compression into the floor, that circle motion in your knees. So we're gonna go to the right and just make a little circle with your knee. You will feel compression into the floor and then take pressure off. Into the floor and take it off. 1. And only feel your leg, your foot. Follow me, of course, because it's circling. And the center is being also, it's traveling. You can see it's traveling out the back view. And switch side. 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. So that's your bounce. Hold. Into the floor, off the floor. In, out, in, off the floor. So that's your legs. Your core can be engaged now. We will talk about upper body. Let's take a seat on our little ottomans. Let's find a place. Are you comfortable?
I can go to this one.
Might be too high. So get your spine straight. Yeah, that will work. We talked about 3 centers. I will turn that down. So 3 centers, A, B, C, right? A, the first one is your collarbone. And then the bottom of your ribcage where your ribs meet, you just pull up. That's the center number 2 or center B. And a little bit lower, inch lower from your belly button down. That's the lower one. They all connecting with each other all the time. What happens to them? They keep doing the circular motions, rotations consistently, like all the time. They don't stop. One is over, then another is coming into them. It's like rolling. It never stops. So we need to take a look. I want to take a look. So I'm far away from you. I did that with the previous class just to breathe a little bit. Number 2 and number 3, that's the first thing, and you're gonna rotate them towards each other and then away from each other, towards each other, away. And make sure it doesn't affect your upper body too much, so it's really that motion underneath your ribcage, I would say almost. Just like little compression. Or you can really have an image of those balls, like they're not centers, but they're like tennis balls or ping pong balls going rolling in and out. It will be short, really, because Samba is very fast. What I would like you to feel here, it's when you opening them, or that you open, it feels like you open your core, so they rolling away from each other. It pushes your spine, your center forward. If you're standing, you'll push it towards your toes. That is going to be initiation of moving forward. 1. Then when you get them opposite direction towards each other, it pushes the spine more back towards your tailbone or towards your heels when you're standing. And we'll push your foot back. Yes, forward or back. You'll try that. That's a little bit confusing, but you can get it. Now, that was first one. Second one, that's a tricky one. You will, let's do this. Let's work only with, start with center number 2 or center B. It will roll sideways, but not flat to the side, slightly diagonal. So it will roll to the side. Then let's go opposite direction, just mirror me. Not just straight to the side, diagonal forward. Feelings here, what you need to feel is that your center is shifting towards one side, one butt cheek, to other with that roll. Next thing I need you to feel is that you'll take your center number 3, the lowest one, and roll it opposite direction from the middle one. 1 and 2 and 1. And you really cannot do anything with your hips here because you're sitting and they're locked. Haha. 1 and 2. You only feel how your center travels. You over one hip, then you over other hip. 1. And then try to do it slow, of course. Then speed it up. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. That's your side step. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. That will be beginning of the side step. And finally, when you're doing like cruzado walk, and you just have to take a step forward. If you take a look at those centers, so what's going on, the collarbone one versus the belly button one, you stretching them away from each other, or actually rotating them away from each other to get that nice and balanced and very strong position. So you would go just, if it's flat, it will look flat. But the moment you will start rotating the pelvis one away from the collarbone, so that stretches it out and becomes much more interesting position, stronger. So let's try to do that. It's kind of hard to do it on the chair, but you can do that. And we've done it once. Collarbone towards the parking lot and the belly button away from it. 1 and 2 and switch. It will be a very small motion. You don't really have to twist your body a lot. Just try to feel how they're going. Opposite direction. You can place your hands on it and just, bless you, just feel how they're going to different direction. That would be a horizontal walk.
We're
And
not
please,
doing
uh,
anything with the shoulders, I think they're staying.
what happens to them
Yeah.
should be happening nothing to them.
Okay.
But because they're so much connected to your rib cage, they're so close to it, there is a reflection all the time. But what you need to try to do, for example, if you're doing the side one, right? If I let my shoulder do it, it will be this. I need to push it back, keep it in that rolled back position, and try to just work with the rib cage. Your shoulders will be doing little something, just because they cannot be frozen, they're too connected. But if you let them go the same direction, that would be very different move. And it's gonna be, we don't want that. Okay, now we can stand up here. And we're gonna try to apply all those things. Okay, so first thing, forward and back, just our basic. So the moment I need you to feel, and let's go over that quickly because I would like with this group to take horizontal walk also. So they have it on the video and they can look it up as well, because we didn't get to do them with the previous group. The moment I need you to feel is to rolling those centers out. It's almost make you fall forward. I need you to feel that. And again, not up because soon you jump up. Projecting forward, one, almost making you take a step. Now, when you're doing that, you will also lift your feet, your heels, shoot your leg forward. It's got to be straight leg first. What I mentioned to previous group, forgot to mention to you guys, when you're landing, when you're placing your foot, it has to be position of ball. Ball with lock knee just for a moment. Lock your knee. And then as you release the knee and start rolling down. And it doesn't matter if you're going forward, back, or side. Let's just try that. When you're shooting the legs, it's ball of your foot and straight front leg straight. The knee. And then you release the knee, flex the knee, and roll it down. Try other foot. Center, shoot the leg, release. And centers, shoot the leg, and release. Now, we're looking at the hips, and everything needs to work together, right? So we're going, one. So now, what is this? This is belly button versus column. See that they go in the opposite direction. One. And because I'm switching my center position. And two. From here, from the center is going opposite direction. Two. Do you see it? Try to feel it as well. Yes. One. Now see what happens here. Open. Sometimes, a lot of the times, those rotations will be happening at the same time. This and this. So it's okay. It's confusing. We need to start with something. I mean, so open it. Get the step. Now it's the sideways getting involved. Two. From here, from center. Slowly with me. Shoot. One. And two. Now I'm gonna close down. One. And two. Open. One. And two, one, and two, one, and two. Let's take a look at whisk. Side to side. Do what you did on the chair, but in the position when you're standing. And you will feel how that will push your center, your weight over one foot and over other foot. See, if I start rolling those centers, I start falling this way. It makes me go this way. Start rolling opposite direction. It makes me go to the side. So let's try to do whisk slowly using the centers. So we go, yeah.
When you go from one to the other, do you go back to the position in between?
You're gonna be switching. What's gonna be happening? I'm gonna try to show what's happening here. So we go, one, and shoot. See, they just keep switching. They keep rolling non-stop and keep switching those sides. Here and here, and here and here. Let's try slow. One, and two. One, and two. One, and two. So when you arrive and finishing here, right on the foot, center goes to start rolling up the direction. If that's what you were asking. Okay. And one, and two, one, and two, one, and two. I'm showing it so big, like it's in like something crazy. It should be happening. It's micro movements inside of your body. Because you're not gonna make it because music is fast. But all just to add the alive, make your dancing alive. So this part is also dancing, not just your feet and maybe your hips. Looks too flat, too dry. Even if you're moving your hips a lot, you gotta get this involved. Whisk one more time. One, and two, one, and two. The best exercise is to do whisk without doing whisk with your feet. Can we try? One, and two, one, and two, one, and two, one, and two, one, and two. One, and imagine that you are doing that whisk. This is how you can practice by yourself. Imagine that you're doing things, your steps, but don't do them with your feet. Do them with your rib cage, with your center, because you know you need to go forward. Then you need to open those centers. If you do something like cruzado walk, then you start opening and then you're going into that second one. Going out and then into that diagonal rotation. Let's try that too. And then roll them diagonally. Boom. I'm skipping the legs right now because we don't have time. Now, because you start rolling those centers opposite directions, that gets my foot under. And try to feel that. Away, under. Try to exaggerate. So like this way, now it's going to be this way. And up. We start remembering God's feet, that's still happening. Everything we talked about with the lifting, and it's all happening. I'm not talking about this right now. And one. And One. Now at the end also, feel how collarbone versus belly button. Stretch that, twist. Usually on the top of the body will be happening not much. It will look like you're just having a nice posture, you're not turning anything. But I am, if you look closely, it's that twist. Do you have any questions before we do that one more time? Anything, any complaints, concerns? Don't understand what I'm talking about. Okay, then let's do whisk. 1 or 2, 3, 8 counts, and then let's do cruzado forward. Just actually don't do locks, just go forward, just walks. Let's go around the floor. You're gonna start facing like this. Starting with right foot towards the wall. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, and just try to concentrate on the center. 7 and 8 forward. 1, 2, 3. Let's do cruzado. 3, you know it. 3 and 4. Also, work it from here. Stretch other direction. Because you started here. Do that 1 time without feet. Cruzado. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1. Center the weight away from each other. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And leave your shoulders alone, leave your arms alone. It's all just here. Da, 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 da. Okay, so let's do cruzado. Whisk. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, forward. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and whisk again. Let's do that with slow tempo. I'm tired already. There's a lot going on here.
Like an 8 or 5-year-old.
You just find that slow one. There you go. Okay, do 1 time. And the place just with your body. Starting with this. Keep not moving. 5, 6, 7, 8. Whisk. Whisk. Forward, 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 up, forward. Yeah? Now with the steps. 5, 6, 7, go. Whisk. Forward. Cruzado. And cruzado. Into the floor. Don't forget about your leg. Okay, thank you guys. Next time we'll go combine every single note.
too.
Thank you.